Hello. This tutorial will cover how to do the laser cut box project. We'll go to makercase.com. We'll select the basic box option. Make sure our box is less than 5 inches on the side. Nothing bigger than 8, nothing smaller than 2. You need to make sure we change the MDF thickness. We'll use finger joints, and then we'll use it to download an SVG. And your box must contain a text or a graphic or both. So we'll go ahead and click on makercase.com. Instructions set to select the basic box. We'll leave it in inches. 4 by 4 by 4 is less than 5, so we're good there. We can leave it as the outside dimensions of the box. We absolutely have to make sure we change this to 1/4 inch. You can either go with a closed top box or an open box. We'll go ahead and do a closed and do a top for it. We're going to do the finger joints, and I'm going to reduce the size. I like to have a little bit more finger joints in my box. I think it looks cooler. If you want an open box, it'll do that as well and give you a nice clean edge around the top. But I want a top with mine as well. Then all I have to do is hit download box plans. It gives all the labels. You can disable the labels, but it's helpful to leave them in there so that you know which part of the box is which. And then all you have to do is hit download SVG. Okay. I'll make sure. It's opening it up here for some reason. That's okay. So I've got that downloaded. I can go ahead and open up Inkscape. I'm going to go to File and Import. You go to my downloads folder, and you can see that box file downloaded in there. We'll just go ahead and select OK with those default options. And you can see that my box is bigger than my piece of paper, than my artboard. So we come up here to File, Document Properties. And our laser is 4 feet wide by 3 feet tall. We're not going to need all of that, but I'll make this 24 inches wide by 18 inches tall, and that should be big enough for the box that I made. So I can just go ahead and drag this onto my board. First thing I'm going to do while I've got everything grouped together is I'm going to hit Control D, make a duplicate, and I'm just going to drag this one down here. I'm going to drag it off my artboard, out of my workspace, just so if I ever need to look and see which one is the top, bottom, back, left, right, I've got all those things. I'm going to come back to my original that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to hit Shift Aqua. Oops. So if I zoom in, that changes all of the vector lines. It's really hard to see. I'm going to come in here and change my stroke. I'll make it a little bit thicker. So stroke style, I'll bump that up so it's easier to see. So I changed my stroke to the aqua color so it's easier to see. I'm going to click on this. It's going to select everything. I'm going to come up to Object and do Ungroup. Well, that's not good. Come back in here. The stroke style is 1 inch. That's way too big, so we'll drop that down. That's back to normal. But now I've got everything ungrouped, so I can grab this bottom text. And I don't need any of those. I'm just going to select those and delete those. So all I have now is the outline of my box. And if I forget which piece is which, I can just scroll down here and look at that guide and tell me which one was top, left, right, or bottom. I need a graphic or a text, so I'll just go back to the web. I'll pull up Google and we'll search for Falcon 9. It's a rocket by SpaceX. Pick whatever you like, whatever makes you happy. Falcon 9 logo. There we go. And I'll grab this one. I'm going to right click on it and save that image. I'm going to save it to my downloads folder, Falcon 9 logo. Okay. I'm going to come back to Inkscape, up here to File and Import. I can see that's in my downloads folder. I'm going to bring that in and just click OK. It's way bigger than it needs to be, so I'm going to select this lock, keeps all the proportions the same, and then I'll just say that this width needs to be 2.5 inches and hit enter. And that may be big or small, but it's just the idea that I've got something in there. I'm going to zoom in on that a little bit, right click, and do trace bitmap. That looks good enough. We'll hit apply. I'm going to drag this black one over here, and then same thing, I'm going to drag this original copy, that original image, I'm going to drag it down here in case I need it later on. So I want this on the top of my box. The top is the one down here in the bottom right. And that's why this little map is handy to kind of keep around. I'll kind of drag it in the center, and then I will do select my image, shift and select the outside of my box. And then we come over here to Object, Align and Distribute. I'm going to go off last selected and center it on the vertical and the horizontal axis. So now I've got that in there. So that's my graphic and my text. I'm going to save this. And I'll just do it on my desktop. Call it something you can remember. I call this one Laser Box Falcon. I'm going to save that as an SVG so that I've got that and I can edit it. I'm also going to save this as a PDF so that it's the format that the laser likes. And same thing, I'll save that to the desktop. Upload this to your website, and then when you get back to the laser, you can go ahead. It'll look something like this, I certainly hope. This is just a web preview of what the laser shows. Come up here to File, Import Image and Drawing. I'm going to go to my desktop. I'm going to use this PDF file for LaserBox Falcon. I'm going to open that up. I want the vector and the raster. So it's going to bring everything in there. Click the triangle to expand. I'm going to turn off my vector layer. Just look at the raster. Click on the word raster to bring up the raster settings. I don't want to raster all those edges. That'll take a really long time. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this threshold. And it gets rid of all the borders, and it's just going to raster the Falcon 9 logo. And we'll move this somewhere down here to 40%. I don't want that to be super scorched. Turn off the raster, turn on the vector. I've already done the Falcon 9 logo. So I'm going to take the passes and turn it to 0. And take the speed of the blue lines that I need to cut out, put those to 40. You would make sure that the laser is focused. You would run the perimeter, and then you would go ahead and play this. So those are the steps to doing the Falcon 9 project, the Falcon 9. And those are the steps to doing the laser cut and box project. Once you get all your pieces cut out, you can go ahead, grab a piece of brown paper out in the design den. You're going to make sure that all your boxes fit together. As long as you made sure that you use the 1/4 inch material, all the edges should fit together nicely. There's no glue on this. This is just to dry fit it and make sure that everything works together. After that, you're going to kind of lay everything out. This is the bottom. I'm going to put the right side and left side, the back and the front, and I flip the top over there. Kind of lay everything out so you know how it's arranged. Make sure you grab a couple rubber bands, some of the glue, and some paper towels, Usually make a little bit of a mess gluing this together. I'm going to put glue on all of the tabs sticking out, all the way around the bottom, on the other sides, except for the top. I don't want to glue my lid to my box. I want the lid to come in and out. So I didn't put any little dollops of glue on the outside edges. Once you get everything glued up, you'll put your box together. It's okay if the glue runs out. Just grab a paper towel that you have and wipe up your extra glue marks. You'll take, can wipe that glue up off the inside if you want to. Take a couple of rubber bands. The rubber bands will hold your box together. I put the lid in there. There's no glue anywhere on the lid or that top edge of the box. So it's not going to get stuck in there, but you want to put the lid in there while you're gluing to make sure it holds its shape the way that you want. Flip it over. There'll be a little bit of glue on the bottom. So use a paper towel, wiped off the glue on the bottom. Clean up all your mess. Put your paper towels in your paper away so you don't glue on the table. If there's glue dripping off your bottle, go ahead and wipe that up. Should look nice and clean when you're done with it. And then the last thing is just to close the cap. You should be able to see the blue piece of plastic when you're done. Your project will need to dry for about 24 hours before it is completely set up and ready to take home. You can put it on the shelves over by the 3D printer. If you have any questions, just ask Mr. Cribbs. I'll be happy to help. Have a great day.